2025 is nearly over, and we have run hundreds of events here at Cards HQ. I'm Nick with TCG HQ, and I'm the tournament organizer for every single game that we carry at this store. I run over a dozen locals every single week, and there's a lot of really awesome things that happen this year, and a lot of not so awesome things that also deserve recognition so that we can improve our tournaments and this industry can improve as a whole. In this video, I'm going to go over our 8 best performing TCGs, the good and the bad that went along with all of them over the course of the year, and where we stand as we head into 2026. I'm Nick with TCG HQ, and this is 2025, a year in review from the tournament organizer's perspective. So immediately, we have to start off with Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is, of course, the largest player base for any TCG out there, and that's represented in our tournaments as well as across the country, with Magic Cons happening every other month, it feels like, SCG Cons purring with huge Spotlight Championship Series events firing off with thousands of players. Magic is in a really good spot. More people are playing the game than ever before, and that's really exciting. We get minimum 7, 8 pods of Commander players every Friday night, and every Wednesday we actually run Value Vintage, which is a format that popped up this year. It's the vintage format with a $30 budget, meaning that you can't play any of the super overpowered and inaccessible cards that are known to be played in the vintage format, and instead it's a deck builder's paradise. We actually just had, the night before we recorded this video specifically, we had our largest Value Vintage tournament yet, with over a dozen players coming from around the Atlanta area to participate, and everybody had a really great time. Some super cool decks can be played in this, such as Hollow One, Rhinos, and more. Lots of different companions as well see play in this format, and it's a great time. It's a different way to play Magic the Gathering. And furthermore, starting from the beginning of the year to the end, our pre-releases grew exponentially. We started off having an Aether Drift pre-release that got 20 to 30 players, somewhere around there. And we actually ended the year off really strong with Final Fantasy, Edge of Eternities, Spider-Man, and Avatar all at least doubling that number. Magic is in a really great spot. But of course, with everything great, we do have to talk about at least one thing that could be improved upon as we move into 2026. Universes Beyond is showing signs of fatigue. As you guys might know, Universes Beyond is the term that refers to all Magic sets that are taking IPs from outside of Magic's multiverse and putting them into the game. This includes Spider-Man, Final Fantasy, Avatar. There have been more Universes Beyond sets this year, and after years of them pumping different IPs into the game through ancillary sets like Secret Lairs and Commander-only sets, we're finally seeing, now that Universes Beyond is being put into 60-card formats where competitive players are involved, things are really starting to take a hit. Spider-Man in particular did not sell that well. Across the board, prices are very low for the Spider-Man set. It was a flawed set from the get-go, basically feeling like every different card was a bad commander that didn't really see any play in Commander. The sealed environment wasn't entertaining, and on top of that, the one chase card, the Soul Stone, isn't enough to pay for your box. That's not a winning recipe. So in 2026, one of the things that I'm looking forward to taking a look at as a tournament organizer is definitely going to be discovering how we can engage players, even when the most recent Magic set isn't super involved. Whether or not you are a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or not, I'm hoping that there's some good incentive that we can offer to get people in the door to play at TMNT pre-releases, Commander Party Nights, and sealed RCQs. One of the biggest pain points in the Atlanta environment has been the attendance of sealed RCQs, particularly in the Atlanta area. I know this isn't the case around the country, but in the Atlanta area in particular, sealed RCQs are super popular for Magic. People love to play them, and the Spider-Man ones just didn't launch. We didn't get enough players to do it, so everybody chose to do Edge of Eternities instead, which was a fairly solid sealed environment. That being said, next year I'm hoping that every set we see provides us an opportunity to run healthy pre-releases, sell plenty of product, and get players engaged. In one of the game's biggest boom periods, we're hoping that we're able to see more people play and more product get into the hands of the folks that want to open it, rather than not seeing any collector boxes on the shelves for these different sets, but instead getting it into the hands of the collectors and players that want it most. And now, of course, we have to start talking about the Pokemon trading card game. Most of the content and involvement that Cards HQ has with Pokemon is in the collecting and investing side. But of course, this channel, TCG HQ, is all about the playing. In March of this year, we actually finally started our Pokemon Weekly League, and it's been going well. The attendance is solid. It, of course, could be better, but we have seen customers get made from these different tournaments that we run. We've now started to run challenges, and we'll be running our first cup soon. We're incredibly thankful to have the opportunity to do this in store. We run it every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and it's a good crowd. They're good people and I like running the tournament for them. That being said, I think it's pretty obvious the main pain point that we've had with Pokemon, and this is not just affecting Cards HQ, it's affecting a ton of different stores, all of them in fact. You can't get your hands on product for Pokemon. It just doesn't happen. No store is getting the amount that they want. All stores are fighting for incredibly expensive product, paying incredible amounts to the people that are able to secure it at MSRP. And unfortunately, a lot of that does give way to some unsavory practices that no store or player or manufacturer or distributor really wants, and that's scalping. Pokemon is unfortunately subject to this across the board in every market, and can you blame them? I mean, when booster boxes are selling for $300 and the MSRP on them is $160, that's a 40% margin for a regular person if they're able to find one at GameStop or Target or wherever. Now that being said, of course, buying booster boxes on the shelves at these places is unlikely, but that still applies to also regular booster packs and elite trainer boxes and all of these different products. I'm really hoping that the Pokemon Company will do what they normally do when this happens, and that is print an overwhelming amount of product to slow down the incredible demand and hopefully return the supply and the prices of these products to a reasonable amount. Now, of course, nobody wants the game to crash or anything like that, and I don't want it. I want people to enjoy Pokemon, get their money out of their product that they open, and be able to play the game easily and accessibly using their favorite fancy cards. There will be a premium for Pokemon because it's such a big IP, but there's no sense at all for every single booster box as soon as it comes out to be $250, $300. I have a pretty firm belief and philosophy that every TCG should have a print run that allows for it to sell at its MSRP for at least a month or two, and then as new sets come out, the product can slowly age over time. We used to see this with Magic happen a lot, and that's how channels such as Alpha Investments got started based on that exact idea. Products start at a relatively reasonable price, and then over time it grows slowly so that the term investing in a TCG actually means reasonably investing, and you're not getting these huge swings that have caused Pokemon to be incredibly inaccessible. All right, and now we're going to move on to Lorcana, our best performing video on this channel. Now that we started this year, our best performing video on this channel is actually our Lorcana Learn to Play. So Lorcana has a very special place in our hearts as being one of the videos that really got this channel started. It currently sits at over 20,000 views and is our most viewed video. We regularly still get comments, likes, and subscribers from that video. So if you're here from that, thank you very much. This year, I think the biggest bump that we saw for Lorcana is going to be when Fabled released. Fabled, of course, being a major reprint set that started the first rotation of Lorcana, and that rotation actually got a lot of people interested in the game again. The views on that video that I just mentioned, the Learn to Play, doubled after the rotation happened, meaning that a lot of people saw Fabled, saw the super awesome chase cards that they printed and the new rarities in Fabled, and determined that it was a good time to either get back into the game or learn how to play it for the first time. It's a Disney card game, and there's a lot of draw there for a variety of different people. It's got something for competitive players, casual players, and collectors across the board. Generally speaking, Ravensburger has done a really good job of building their community to appreciate Lorcana for what it is. It's no longer just people hyped for the first chapter. It now feels like the people that care about the game care about it for a lot more than just that early success it had in 2023. That being said, I think Lorcana could do some work on fixing its product. That's going to be a recurring theme here for some of these larger TCGs. Most Lorcana set outside of Fabled, such as the most recent one, Whispers in the Well, that set is selling for maybe 10% above cost, which isn't really what you want. That's not good enough for stores to get a substantial amount of margin out of so that they're able to continue to stock the game and host the events, keep the community going. And that's another note. Our attendance at Lorcana locals is non-existent, unfortunately, at Cards HQ. That's for a variety of reasons. The Atlanta scene is really spread out, but that being said, it's really difficult to get people to consistently play a game where cards either feel like they're way too available and they're not worth much, or when Fabled originally came out, you couldn't get your hands on absolutely any product. Hopefully, they determined the best way to solve that, what the actual print run should look like for these sets. They're now getting into the double digits when it comes to the amount of sets that they've released, so hopefully Lorcana will figure that out. Moving forward, they'll print the right amount of product, and it'll get people invested into the game again outside of just the competitive scene, thanks to people like Charlie's Collectibles Show here in Atlanta as well, out of Stone Mountain, and now opening up locations in Houston and Raleigh. They have a huge network of $25,000 qualifier events for their $50,000 invitational, as well as the DLC circuit starting back up. It's great to be a Lorcana competitive player, not so much to be a casual player right now, so we're hoping we can fill the gaps there. And now, of course, we're moving on to a favorite game of ours here at TCG HQ, that is Star Wars Unlimited. The easy thing that we can take away from Star Wars Unlimited is record attendance for nearly everything all year long. Starting from January to now, Cards HQ has seen 2 different Bothan Invitational events that saw a total of $22,000 in prize support handed out to hundreds of players that came to our store for that event. And that's not just talking about Cards HQ's events either. We also had the Galactic Championship, having over 2,200 players in its main event and 3,300 side events fire. Furthermore, nearly every single sector qualifier and regional championship event has either hit capacity or gotten within 10% of it since those events started in the spring. Star Wars Unlimited, as far as a player goes, is going very well. If you are wanting to play and engage with Star Wars Unlimited at a competitive level, you are able to do so with sites like Kiribati offering free online play and in-store events such as what we do at Cards HQ, and Fantasy Flight's own first-party organized play, giving you plenty of reason to travel and enjoy the game. Not only this, but with rotation coming up, there's a sense of renewed interest in what the game looks like when all of those powerful Set 1 cards rotate out of the game. What will decks look like? What will the meta look like? It's going to be really interesting. However, as you guys may know, a few weeks ago we released a video on the plummeting box prices of Star Wars Unlimited. There is absolutely one thing that Fantasy Flight Games and Asmodee need to do in order to correct their game's future, and that is please, for the love of God, get rid of Carbonite booster boxes. Fix product. It has to happen. The game is doing great as far as a player base is concerned, but as far as the value in product and the value in cards, it's completely shot. The introduction of Carbonite booster boxes was theoretically a good idea, but now after 3 sets of the Carbonite boxes completely sinking the prices of regular booster boxes, the thing that is used for sealed events, the thing that regular players have access to because they are a cheaper, more introductory product, these boxes are worthless. We can't have this. This is not how you have a successful, healthy aftermarket for your product. In order to do this, very simply, like I said at the top, you have to get rid of Carbonite. Carbonite boxes cannot exist following set 6. We're hoping that in the specialty announcement that they're doing on December 10th, something that will have come out before this video releases, we're hoping that when FFG has their live stream to talk about product changes, that they announce something similar. And if they don't, well, hopefully they make it so that prestiges are hard to hit or chase cards actually feel like chase cards again. When the TCG industry is booming, as it is right now, there is absolutely no excuse for your product to be selling below cost online. It hurts stores, it hurts the people that buys them, and it hurts anybody who's trying to get value out of their game after they've opened thousands of dollars in product or won thousands of dollars in product. FFG, you guys know I love you. I love working with you. I've vended several of your large events, and I have a great time playing this game, but that is the one note that I hope you'll take away. One note of constructive criticism: please fix the product for the future of the game. We have plenty of people who want to buy the product, but not enough people are doing it, and we can make a few quick and easy changes to make sure that that does not happen in the future. Next up, we're moving on to Gundam, another favorite game of ours on TCG HQ. Player enthusiasm is at an all-time high for Gundam. Gundam is quickly becoming one of our largest TCG scenes. We get a dozen to 2 dozen players twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays for our weekly play for the Gundam card game. And on top of that, our new type challenge 2 got 37 players, which was actually 5 above the capacity that Bandai gave me. I had to. They were here and they wanted to play, and I wasn't about to turn them away. And then, of course, for the original new type challenge, we were given a capacity of 64, and we made it a case tournament for New Type Rising. Of course, a set that's been really hard to get your hands on for the Gundam card game. Can't get any product, so we offered it as a case additional prizing for our first new type challenge. We got 46 players. Both of those numbers are incredibly strong and are bigger than a lot of our other games get regularly. Gundam has consistently overperformed for us. It's a really fun game as well. One of the notes that I always have when it comes to trying out a new card game, do I enjoy it? Very simple. It doesn't have anything to do with the IP. IP doesn't do anything for me. As much as I love Star Wars or Disney or anything else, as much as I love Spider-Man and Magic, if the cards are good, that's what matters. That is the only thing that matters, and the Gundam card game truly feels like the best combination of everything Bandai has ever done, put into one card game that feels balanced and fun to play. That being said, we do have to fix the product issues. It's the opposite of what Star Wars has. There's not enough Gundam out there. I know Bandai knows how to turn on a printer. If you played Battle Spirit Saga, you could find boxes of that game for $15 on the secondary market when that game was still in print. Bandai knows how to overprint a product. Now, I'm of course not saying that Gundam needs to be overprinted. Nothing should be overprinted. Companies hopefully are smarter than that and will know the right amount to print based on their own market research and sales data. But that being said, Gundam definitely needs some more time on the print track so that more structure decks in particular and booster boxes can get put into the hands of the people that want to play this game. It's a shame that so many cards are locked behind structure decks that were clearly underprinted, and hopefully moving forward into 2026, Bandai can figure that out, understand how many structure decks need to get printed so that players have staple cards in their hands sooner, and therefore the player base will be healthier and our event attendance will get even better, not only at Cards HQ, but around the world. And next up, we can't talk about TCGs in 2025 without talking about Riftbound. Riftbound is, of course, the elephant in the room, and it will be for a while, I imagine. Riftbound has come out of the gate swinging as one of the largest TCGs we have ever seen take off. Immediately, we have a sold-out regional event happening the weekend of this recording in Houston, and Charlie's Collectible Show here in Atlanta, like I mentioned for Lorcana, they just announced a $25,000 qualifier series, as well as a $50,000 invitational to happen next year. There's a lot of reasons to play Riftbound right now. The game is solid. It's a decent game system. I'm not going to say it's the best one in the world, but I do like it. On top of that, the IP and the company behind it, League and Riot respectively, they both have history in the esports scene, and that applies very well to a TCG. In fact, it's kind of surprising that this didn't happen sooner. Particularly, we could have seen that happen with Legends of Runeterra being put into a physical card game, but Riftbound actually uses a lot of assets from Legends of Runeterra, so it's almost like this is the spiritual successor to that game. Riftbound is suffering from what the industry calls catastrophic success. There's not product anywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. Nobody has Nexus Knight packs. Nobody has booster boxes. Some starters might be available, but absolutely nobody has Proving Grounds either. All these different product lines are effectively impossible to get. Despite how amazing the game is, you can't get your hands on it, and that is never okay. We have heard Riot and UVS work as hard as they can to reprint stuff. There's boxes getting shipped out every single day to stores, and they immediately get gobbled up. Hopefully in 2026, they can adjust their print runs and their expectations in the hope that they can get more product in the hands of players that want it, and stores can hand out product instead of store credit for their prizing for tournaments like we've been doing. We run Riftbound twice a week. Both on Wednesdays and Fridays, and they both go really great. However, attendance has, of course, dipped as we've run out of product and Nexus Knight packs. We need more of those things to make sure that the local community survives long-term, as well as the competitive community. As you guys have noticed, a recurring theme here this year has been print runs. Whether you're printing too much product or too little, Riftbound is unfortunately the extreme in the too little printed category. But hopefully, they'll get control on it sooner rather than later. By the time Spirit Forge releases, and then sets 3, 4, and 5 release, we'll see plenty of product hit shelves, and hopefully that meets the demand that the people who love this game are already showing. All right, we've got 2 more games on our list to talk about. The next one is going to be One Piece. One Piece is, of course, our biggest community. It has been our biggest community for quite a while. That's for a competitive card game. Our largest overall regular players in the building community is going to be our Commander on Friday nights. However, One Piece, as far as competitive locals go, we get a huge scene, 30 players minimum every single week on Sundays. One Piece, of course, has done great numbers for us. We get hundreds of boxes every single set. We sell through all of them. The love and enthusiasm for this game at Cards HQ is palpable, and the amount of success that we have is very much so cognizant of the rest of the scene as well. One Piece is, of course, Bandai's golden goose. One Piece has been doing crazy numbers since it came out in 2022 and will likely continue to do so. There is one note that I think both players and Bandai can listen to, however. The fears about rotation, I think, are valid. The reason I think they're valid is because One Piece did not launch with the expectation of there being a rotation. And one of my game design philosophies when it comes to analyzing TCGs and their potential future success, is very much so, how do you choose to handle rotation? Rotation is a hot button topic. And for those who might not be familiar, rotation occurs when a company decides, instead of having a ban list that gets rid of certain cards from play long term, and then they choose to reprint the cards that are getting more expensive because the product has been out for so long. This is something that Yu-Gi-Oh does in particular. Yu-Gi-Oh has never had rotation. This is something that Magic and Pokemon does do, however, is rotate their card pools. What that means is typically in chunks at a time, normally every year, every 2 years or 3 years, 4 sets at once, 5 sets at once, 6 sets at once will be removed from the card pool to make room for other cards in the newer sets to shine. That is rotation. And lots of new games have decided to do rotation, One Piece being one of those games. At the start of next year, several sets, I believe it's the first 4 sets of One Piece, will rotate out of the game's card pool, meaning that they'll no longer be played in the main format. The reason this is a hot button topic specifically for One Piece, though, is because they did not announce the game with the thought of rotation in mind. What this means is that One Piece is a newer card game, and when it was originally announced, the designers had a choice on whether or not they wanted to do a ban list or rotation. It's typically not great to do both. Some games do, but you typically want to commit to one or the other. Emergency banning some cards while doing rotation is what most games have decided to do, and One Piece did not announce when the game came out that they would be rotating their cards. Earlier this year, they made the decision to do so and told the community, which broke a lot of the trust that Bandai had with the folks that are collecting the cards for long-term value, as well as players who have been playing with super expensive game pieces for a while now. It's not great. It's not a great look. And unfortunately, now that it's been announced, you can't exactly put that back in the bottle, as it were. Pandora's box is opened. Rotation is now a part of the discussion surrounding One Piece, and it's caused a bit of a fervor. We'll see how it impacts the game's sales and player base, but so far, so good. One Piece is still pedaling along, doing very good numbers for us and for a lot of other stores and for Bandai itself. Going into 2026, we'll see what a competitive One Piece looks like with the first 4 sets rotated out, and we'll see how it goes. I'm sure that the game will be fine long term, but it is something that I hope Bandai and players do think about. How does rotation make One Piece look to you? All right, and finally, moving on to the last game we're going to talk about. This is going to be the smallest of the 8 games. This is Union Arena. Union Arena came out in 2024, right around exactly when I started working for Cards HQ, and Union Arena is basically an IP game. It's a universal rules system that applies to a bunch of different animes that each get sets, and whenever you play Union Arena, you're only allowed to play with cards from the specific IP that you're playing with. Typically, that means 1 to 2 sets worth of cards that you're allowed to build a deck with. The game system is really easy to learn, it's super fast to play, and it's a lot of fun. We actually did a video of me trying the game out at my first and only locals attendance here at Cards HQ. We do Union Arena locals every Friday at 7 p.m., and it's a good little crowd. I think the game is in a tough spot, though, unfortunately, and it's probably the most sour note that we have in this video. Union Arena could do a lot of work to improve. The organized play structure is becoming quite repetitive and quite uninteresting, I'd say. Sets are coming out at a way too rapid pace. I mean, sometimes we have 4 sets releasing in a 6-week-long period. And I understand the goal there is for Union Arena to catch up to the Japanese game, which has many, many, many more sets than us. But by doing that, you've created this product glut that has caused Union Arena boxes and cases to dip well below what they should be. These boxes distro for $47, and then if we're selling them on the shelf for $40, that's a loss. And Union Arena as a game is supposed to be casual, collectible, and accessible, yes, but in order to have the second one, the other 2 notes there being both casual and accessible, you do have to have chase rarity cards that still make your money back when you open boxes, or else those other 2 things kind of fall apart. You can't have a game be accessible while sell for a loss. That means that stores don't want to carry it. And locally in Atlanta, I'm of course not going to name names, but I have been confided in that some stores don't want to carry this product. We, of course, love the game here. It's a very solid system. Our local scene on Friday is full of really great casual players that really enjoy playing it. We always get a good turnout for our rare battles and our release events, but hopefully Bandai will be able to observe the sales data that they're getting out of distro for the sets that they've released over the course of this past year, and they'll see that less is more, and they can improve their product distribution pipeline so that it better suits the needs of both players and stores that are trying to play this game. And of course, to summarize the whole year, Cards HQ's events have grown so much, and that's for so many different card games. Not just these 8, we run over a dozen different locals. Some of the games I didn't talk about, Flesh and Blood, Alestrals, Digimon, a couple others as well thrown in there. We're really thankful for everybody who comes through our doors and plays in our events. I see all of you. Any of the people who have subscribed to this channel because they play events in store know I am always the person running every single weekly. I'm typically the last person out of the building here at Cards HQ, and that's just because I love running these tournaments. It's my passion, it's my profession, and I want to give you guys a heartfelt thank you. If you have watched this channel this year, if you have supported us in store by buying product, or I know you personally and you've come to one of our events, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. It has been truly amazing to see Cards HQ, TCG HQ, and myself personally grow as members of this community, as one store among many, as one store that acts as a place for players to come play in a huge sea that is the TCG industry. We're really thankful for you guys. We're really thankful for the support. We're thankful for the love. We're thankful for the folks that come every single week and the folks who have only been here one time. You guys are the best. There's so much good things. There's so many good things happening in this industry, and I really cannot wait to see what 2026 has in store. As always, if you liked this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to TCG HQ for more content like this in the future. And if you're looking to pick up any of the games that I have talked about in this video in particular, head to cardshq.com where you can find, hopefully, all varieties of products for every single game that we have. I'm looking at you, Riftbound. Let's get some more of that on the website. Print some more product. I'm Nick with TCG HQ, and I'll see you next time. Take care.